Whoa. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So, I don't know. What is life really? What should I talk about? So, is AI gonna replace us? I don't know. I mean, I think for front end developers, we are certain kinds of front end developers, right? There's front end developers that are just maybe junior level and just kind of like plugging away at making the UI and translating Figmas and staff work, right? Although of course the word staff is now used for other things, but like those people are probably gonna be the most affected, and those are people coming out of college or maybe previously dabbled and trying to get into it. So I think the advice I would give, well, don't lose hope, but also I think the point is what is front end really? At the end of the day, it's building UI interfaces, and you kind of have to have a passion for UI or kind of want to do it, and really understand that you're just communicating visual language to people. So if that's really your passion, I think definitely double down and try and build up your chops as an engineer, but also as someone who's a problem solver. And really, you are essentially a design problem solver. And we invented this thing called front end. I mean, it didn't exist, right? It literally just came into being several years ago because we just needed to give it a name. And then also Node became a thing. And, we kind of did invent our jobs. And I hate saying that because obviously it's in my interest to preserve my field, so to speak. But since time immemorial, front-end development is essentially web design or web development. Hey, puppy. Hey. Hi. How are you? Oh, yeah. Look at this colorful. Oh, and you got a little patch. Oh, I wish I had a ball. Oh, so friendly. Goldens are the best. Puppy was great. So basically, yeah, I don't know. I'm filming this here in the Palace of Fine Arts, which is to say that, we used to believe in design in this country once. We used to want to do things like this and resurrect the stuff. And it's kind of sad that the right wing sort of took on this whole idea of trad design and traditional values and stuff, because yes, also yes, and why? How did the left become associated with not having good design? I don't know. I think part of it is modernism, right? This whole thing about modern audiences, it's the idea that you are inherently rejecting some old way of thinking and replacing it with the new one, quote unquote modern. But I don't know, kind of a misnomer, because everything that was new becomes old, one day. So one day, whatever today's modern standards will be the old standards of tomorrow, and rejected. So I think the biggest thing is, we'll always have a need for design and the way to translate design to help people not just understand something and use something, but just be delighted and want to come back Of course, I don't know, naysayers would say, well, places like Instagram and Facebook, aka the one company called Meta, and Google have done their best to scientifically abstract visual design into a completely like science-based, data-based binary of like, you're going to click on this button more because it's a red color. So therefore all buttons must be red if you want to achieve a certain thing. Or like, let's specifically put something in this side of the page just because you'll click on it more. I mean, stuff like that. We've boiled down sort of the ape brain to these sort of like output inputs. And sure, yeah, I get it. We want to extract as much value. We want to extract as much money out of the user as possible. I don't know, like, it's hard to say. Like, I am not the CEO of the company. When I sit down with the finance department and I look at the long term of things, does my mind immediately go, okay, we need to stop doing good design and we need to just do design that sells, right? Because times are tough. You got mouths to feed, and your portal into money in a way is the user, right? I mean, that's how we're thinking about this. We're treating the user as like the entryway to cash, right? Because that's the transaction. Well, at least I imagine it would be. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, do we have to subtract the two? Could we acknowledge that design has a place at the table, even at the expense of like potential efficiency? I don't know. I mean, as a designer, I don't know. I do know as a designer, obviously, I would advocate that, yes, 100%, we should always maintain a level of design and artistry in everything, and therefore justifies professionals like me and hopefully many others to bring that to life and maintain that ideal so that we just have like great things to look at and feel joy out of our lives. I don't know. I would hope joy also translates to dollar signs, joy. So that's kind of my hot take. Basically saying, I mean, really, it's just, can AI design as good as a designer? I don't know if even that's a question, because really it's like, at the end of the day, a designer has to prompt the AI to design something. I mean, I suppose you could just say, hey, AI, make me an app that makes a lot of money. And you're like, cool. I know this app called like Instagram or Facebook that apparently makes billions of dollars. But that doesn't explain the whole story, right? Because they're just really just apps that like let you share cat videos or whatever, or like share your vacation photos. So like, I think, does it that's not the story, because there were many sites. There have been many sites. There probably are many sites right now that are photo sharing sites. They didn't get billions of dollars. They're not like, bajillion-dollar companies. I mean, it's all like this, it's all a game too at the end of the day, right? AI can't really predict that, or like the design didn't really predict the success. I mean, certainly the design helped get users to be excited and want to use the app. I know early Instagram was actually a very nice, fun app to use, and people enjoyed it. The filters were really fun, and that's part of what drove engagement. But, today, would AI design a cool, fun app like that? Probably not, because it'd be like, oh, well, I read this paper about how, clean design and get some more clicks and stuff like that. But like, I don't know if really could give the argument that because give the argument back in the day when everything was skeuomorphic, meaning like when everything had drop shadows and everything was a little more artsy and a little more kid-like, like did that translate into like good clicks throughs and like good like return, I don't know what the word is, but like there's probably like a marketing term for like the ability for someone to click through and accomplish their journey. I want to say ROI, that's not it, but like, yeah, the skeuomorphic Instagram of the early 2000s did that. I doubt that was very successful, but people just like enjoyed using the app, so they just figured it out, right? So in a way, there wasn't much of a like A to B to C. Like, did we heavily analyze it? We're just like, well, users were given fun things to do, and a lot of that was accomplished through just good design. So do good design.